Hey everyone, Chrissy here from Real World Witness, and I just got finished doing my show with our breakdown of Leave the World Behind movie from Netflix with Sarah and Lady D. And we kind of went long, but I didn't really touch upon. There were a couple of other things that I wanted to mention about this movie. And I thought, well, let me just do a quick video, and I can show you because all of my illustrations did not work right. So anyway, so first of all, I wanted to mention, now they talked about when Danny, when uh, Clay and George went to see Danny, they he mentions how Archie's teeth are falling out, right? And Danny talks about, oh well, that was probably the thing that happened in Cuba a few years back, where it was like a microwave weapons type thing that caused radiation. So this is one of the articles about that. The Havana syndrome is what they ended up calling, and it happened in 2006 in Cuba. And what this says is that doctors, scientists, intelligence agents, and government officials have all been trying to find out what caused the Havana syndrome, a mysterious illness that struck American diplomats and spies. Some call it an act of war. Others wondered if it was a new and secret form of surveillance. And some people believed it even could be in your mind. So anyway, they talked about the fact that the Havana syndrome first emerged in Cuba in 2016. The first cases were CIA officers, which meant they had to keep it secret. But eventually, word got out and anxiety spread. 26 personnel and family members would report a wide variety of symptoms. There were whispers, and some colleagues thought sufferers were crazy and it was all in their mind. 5 years later, they came there was evidence that they figured out that it was actually these microwave, um, it's like a microwave, it's a frequency from the microwave within the sound barrier. So, they, anyway, so it caused radiation, and a lot of people were having many, many problems after that. So, I thought that was just so interesting that they brought that up. So I wanted to mention that. The other thing that I wanted to mention was the 3 mile. Okay, so they talked about they mentioned 3 Mile Island. There was a huge reference throughout about the power plants. The Ruth was talking about the power plants. Well, anyway, the 3 Mile Island is a site of a nuclear power plant in south central Pennsylvania. In March 1979, a series of mechanical and human errors at the plant caused the worst commercial nuclear accident in U.S. history, resulting in a partial meltdown that released dangerous radioactive gases into the atmosphere. 3 Mile Island stoked public fears about nuclear power. And so there's been no new nuclear powers plants been built in the United States since that accident. So I thought that was very interesting that they wanted to they discussed that about they brought that up because there's so many things in this movie that were mentioned. I could go on and on. Let me hold on. I'm going to bring this up again because there's so many things that I had on my. Um, let's see, where is it? Oh my gosh, now I can't find it. Figures. Let's see, is this it? Anyway, so the movie had so many issues. Yeah, here it is. So the movie had so many things about it. It was just crazy. And let's see. Wanted to bring up. Yeah, they referenced the I love you virus, which was another thing. It was unleashed in the year 2000. People were getting emails and they would click on the link and then it would send all their email contacts to the hackers. So why are they mentioning that now? I mean, we know that hackers, they I get emailed all the time. I just don't click on it. So there was that reference. There was also, I thought it was very interesting, George, he went over to the Huxley's house and he knew exactly where the satellite phone was at. He also said, and when he was talking to Amanda, that when he tried the satellite phone, it didn't work. And so, why would they do that? Because the satellites were taken out. And he also mentioned that the satellites were connected to servers on Earth. So I thought that was very interesting. And Amanda says, quote, it's they were talking about the money system, they were talking about the market, the stock market, and he was talking about how his clients, which are elites, and I think that he moved money around is what he did, but Amanda says it's all an illusion, imaginary numbers leading to imaginary number money. So I thought that was very interesting. um there were a couple of planes that went down. So there were two. There was one when George goes to the Huxleys and he sees all this, damage. And then he looks, he goes out to the back where the beach is and he finds a guy. It looks like a watch on the sand and he lifts it up. The watch says 1 o'clock p.m. So I don't know what that means, what the significance is of that, but it looked like it was the pilot that had, that he found. And then while he's out there, another plane crashes. The other interesting about that is that the debris from the plane that he noted that he saw, that was downed, was also blue and yellow. So I thought, well, that's interesting. I mean, since when is, all of the debris is blue and yellow? I'm like, what's up with that? The other thing is, um, they talked a lot about the high pitch sounds. There's frequencies, and every time the frequency, it would like as we mentioned before, the paintings behind, the paintings in the living room and the painting behind the master, the bed in the master, they changed several times. And like we mentioned, it was probably like the calm before the storm, and then the storm comes, as far as those pictures. You can go and look. It's just so interesting to me. And the way that the frequency picture changes, it's just, there's probably a lot more to unpack about that, but I probably don't have the wherewithal to do that. But I just think there's a lot more going on with those photos, those pictures, those paintings, than what even we came up with. Also, Amanda talked about getting preparations: food, water, batteries, Tylenol, a purifying straw so that you can drink contaminated water. The other interesting thing is when, she said, oh my God, the guy that she saw, Danny, at the market, he was buying supplies, a bunch of supplies. And what's interesting is yesterday I went to the store, grocery store, and there was a guy, honest to God, a guy in a pickup truck with a baseball cap on, and he had a bunch of supplies too. He had like 2 or 3 cases of water, and he had a bunch of stuff he was unloading into his car that he had just bought at the grocery store. And then I just thought about that as we were talking, and we never got back to it. But I thought, wow, something's going to go on. I was talking to Delphine right after the show, and tomorrow is 12:15. Remember on the dashboard when Clay is driving and he's playing with the dashboard, it's at 12:15. Okay. Well, tomorrow is December 15th, and not only that, it also marks the end of Hanukkah is tomorrow. So I don't know if there's something going on with that. I really think, and Delphine we talked about it. We really think, something major is going to happen. And actually, once Saudi Arabia joins BRICS as of January. So once that happens, our whole system is going to collapse. Okay, but I just don't want people to be freaked out. No fear. We have to like keep going, soldier on, and just, listen, we can be aware of things. And so when things happen, we can be like, okay, you file it in the back of your head and you just move forward. The other thing that was I thought was interesting, which we didn't get to, was the Tesla cars. That when you any car that was built, I think it's 1980, they all have a chip in their car. So all the newer cars, and the newer cars have the self-driving capabilities. And so that, what does that do? That allows someone else to actually take control of your car via, they can hack into it, and via satellite or whatever, somebody else can control your car. So I think that's kind of something that we need to pay attention to and talk about, um, we just have to be aware that these things. And when the guy said, when Clay was saying, without my phone and my GPS, I'm a useless man. Well, you know what? It's true. We need to like start going back to 1985 is what I say, because, we got to start getting rid of this technology that has prisoned us. Do you understand? And it's been a slow process, but they've imprisoned us now with this technology. And we need to like really pay attention to that, because, if you can get a landline, I suggest a landline, because once the power goes out, there's no Wi-Fi, there's no cell phone tower, there's nothing. There's no radio. I actually bought a transistor radio at a garage sale I saw for $5 that can be run on batteries. I mean, you have to start thinking about these things, because whether this happens now or 2 years from now or 10 years from, we know that there is a plan in place for them to destroy. They want death to America. Especially, these Middle Eastern country, the Muslim whole religion is against the jihad. The whole jihad is against Christian and the Western world and the way we are. So, when you think of that, it's like, okay, that it's in the back of your mind. You need to just prepare a little bit. That's all we're saying. I'm not saying, you should be afraid or anything, but, whatever happens, happens. But at least you have something to understand what's going on in the world. I mean, hopefully there might be some radio, some kind of transmission, EBS or whatever on an emergent situation. And you would be, if you have a transistor radio, you can hear it, but you're not going to get anything from your phone. The phone will be dead. So there was that. The other thing, that there was a reference to the West Wing. So years ago, in the first, I think it was like beginning of, I don't know, 2004, 5, 6, 7, something like that. The West Wing was it was an Aaron Sorkin created and written and show, and it was really good. I used to watch it. And there was and Rose, the daughter, talked about this story that the president tells in the West Wing about a guy. So there was a flood, and basically there was a guy who was supposed to evacuate due to a flooding. So the guy prays to God to save him. Well, there was a report on the radio, and he still didn't leave. And then there was a guy with a boat stopped by to get him, but he said, no, God will save me. No, I don't need it. And he wouldn't leave his house. And then there was a helicopter and throws down, the ladder. The guy still won't leave. And then he ends up dying in the flood. So he dies, and he's angry, and he asks God, God, I don't understand. I prayed to you every day. Why didn't you save me? And God says, I sent a radio report, I sent a boat and a helicopter. What more do you want? So the meaning there is you have to pay attention. God, there are signs all around us that God sends us. And it's just a matter of recognizing them and understanding, like, there's so many blessings. Listen, everybody has stuff going on in their lives, but you have to look at when you see something something as simple as, I don't know. I don't know. There's been so many blessings. Listen, this past year has been amazing for me. There's been lots of ups and downs, yes. But, I launched my first book of my series, and I haven't really made any money, so to speak, but, I had so many opportunities, and I'm very blessed for that. I was not thinking I would have a book booth, 2 months after it launched. And now I just found out that I will have a table at the Emerald City Comic Con, which is in Seattle in the end of February, which is huge. And they pick and choose who they want. And I just feel so grateful for that. I mean, there's these little things that happen, and you have to like take the joy, find the joy in that, and know that He paves a path for you. You don't have to worry. You just kind of know in your back of your mind you need to prepare for things, but He is there and He wants to talk to you. And I think the other thing I want to make mention of tonight is just, you have to just really do not buy into the fear, do not buy into the propaganda, turn the news off. The mainstream media news, and even a lot of these truthers out there, I'm sorry, they're paid opposition. The big ones I'm talking about: Charlie Ward, Scott McKay, all these people, Michael Jaco, he admits he's ex-CIA, and these people are paid opposition, okay, to carry the narrative. And the fact of the matter is that you just have to take in what resonates with you, and then just kind of be prepared, but the goal is just keep living your life, make your plans as you normally would, and just go from there. And so I think that that's what I kind of wanted to make mention of. We didn't really get to that because I know Sarah needed to go, and we'd been on for about an hour and 20 minutes, I think. And I just felt like, well, let me just come on and just talk a little bit more about this, because that's so important that people do not, no fear, you do not submit, you do not obey, do not follow. I mean, that's what they want. We know the whole COVID thing was just a psyop to see how many people, how they could do it. And everybody, 90% of the world acquiesced to this bullshit. So, we know what the truth is behind all of this stuff, and you just gotta stand in your truth, is what I always say. When people ask me to sign my book, I always say, stand in your truth and never give up, never give in, because we are sovereign, beautiful souls, and we need to remember that. And we have the power within us, and it's so important for people to really understand that. And we need to just move forward. And not only that, you have to leave the past behind. There's no sense in ruminating about things that happened in the past, if issues you might have with people. It happened, whatever. You feel whatever you need to feel, but you say, okay, I'm done, and you move forward. Because the new world is going to be amazing. It really is. And I truly believe we're going to have a blessed life. The other thing I was going to say, I watch Fixer Upper. I don't know if you guys watch that on HGTV, and Chip and Joanna, and they just finished doing it was like a 2.5 year job where they turned this beautiful 1928 hotel. They restored the whole thing. It was amazing. You should watch it if you haven't seen it. But it kind of, I was thinking about it, they don't need the money. They don't have to do what they do. They have touched so many lives with their talent, okay? They're restoring homes, restoring businesses. They've got a big farm. They do herbs. It's because when you don't have to worry about the money, you can be creative. And that's the key to living. Find out what you love to do and just do it. That's what it is. And if you don't have to worry about money, you can just do what you would want to do. Like, what would you want to get into? Okay, well, you take a course, you know what I mean? And then you spread it across the world. That's what we're here to do. We're not supposed to be debt slaves to this fucking cabal that could give a shit about us. And so I just really want, it really came clear to me, when you don't have to do something, but you do it because you love it, that's the gold right there. That's what we're supposed to be doing. That's what God wants us to do. and you have to stop thinking as a victim. This whole thing, the whole rhetoric throughout this movie was about slavery. And you know what? People are enslaved all over the world. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Asian, from Timbuktu, from planet Pluton. It doesn't matter. Kids are enslaved. They're kept in cages underneath. These people, the sex trafficking, the human trafficking, it doesn't matter what your color of your skin is, okay? And this stupid narrative about white people being racist and all that, I am so sick of it. Who was the racist in that whole scenario? Who? It was the social justice bullshit. And we have to stop that and stop being divisive and start unifying. We are human beings. We're a human race. That's it. And stop the victimhood and, oh, well, he got this and he got that. There was another reference when Ruth was talking to Clay and they were smoking a joint on the thing. Oh, well, I think you get whatever you want, easily. Bullshit. You know what? I'm white. My family's from fucking Italy, my ancestors. My great-grandfather came over in 1901 on a ship from Calabria, Italy. He came here with nothing. He had the shirt off his back. He didn't get a handout. He didn't get shit. He was quarantined for 10 days, and then that's it. He worked his ass off for a year, saved money, and then sent for his wife and his 2 kids, and his little 2-year-old daughter died on the boat just before they hit the harbor. So, skin color doesn't matter. We need to get away from that narrative and the white privilege bullshit, because I haven't had any privileges. I'm broke as can be, all right? It doesn't matter what I am. It's just so ridiculous. I'm so sick of the narrative and the divisiveness and the narrative and the indoctrination that this country has fallen prey to. We are in the upside down, people, and we need to pull our heads out of our asses and start living as human beings. End of story. So, anyway, that's what I want to say. I sort of ended on an angry note, but I just really wanted to make sure that I got that out there. The other thing I wanted to tell everybody, so I got into the Comic-Con in Seattle, so I'm very excited for that. I think it's going to be hopefully a good opportunity. I'm hoping to find some representative or something that will want to put me on their little publishing company, and then I could just sit and write all day, which I would love. So anyway, I do have these little Kirsten Kelly bags that I put together that I'm selling for Christmas if you guys are interested. It's $30. I made the homemade bag. So it's a bag. You get an autographed book of The Mystery of the Gold Coin. You get a sneak peek of the new cover part. It's sort of the mock-up of the new cover for Nowhere to Hide Book 2, which is going to come out this next year. You get the first five pages of chapter 1 to kind of give you a little bit of a idea of what's going to happen. And then I made these really cute. So you get this little thing, and it's got like a rubber band, but I made these really cute. It's like it's a bookmark. So I made these, and you get some gold chocolate and gold coin chocolate and stuff. So anyway, I'm selling for $30 a piece. You can go to my website, www.kirstenkellychronicles.com, and you can order it there. And that's it. So I just wanted to say happy Merry Christmas to everybody. I am going to be just home this year, taking it easy, and I hope everybody has safe travels out there. I probably won't be back until next year. I probably won't do another show until next year, so that's why I wanted to sort of come on and just, just remember, just talk to God. He's there, and no fear, and just, live your life and accomplish whatever, concentrate and focus on your goals and not all this other crap that's going on. I mean, whatever happens, happens, and there's nothing we can do really about that to change it. But all we can do is we can change how we react and how we operate and navigate within the system. So I just wanted to mention that. And I guess everybody, I watch. I guess Sarah Ashley and Jason Ramirez will be on with Jason Bryan tomorrow on Light Warrior Network, and then of course our Lady D Delphine. She'll be doing her show, her Saturday Soul Therapy on Saturday, and I'll be in the chat at both. So have a great holiday, and I will see you guys later in the new year. So have a good one. I'm out of